Times I think I've smelled like gas in the house and he doesn't smell it, and just
Oh,
things like that in
that's
general.
probably just due to aging. That's probably all it
Yeah.
is. It might be reversible, but like I said, I mean, if you want to give them different scents to try, that would be good just to test it out and see if that works. Like I said, just might be certain things he can't smell. So,
Okay.
any more questions? Anybody? Okay. All right, now we're gonna move on to sight. We did smell, now we're gonna do sight. Has anyone ever heard of an emergency motivational kit? Emergency motivational kit. I made that up, that's why you haven't. So, an emergency motivational kit is basically something that allows you to get back on track. So, you face a tragedy, bankruptcy, you end up in a bad relationship that you just ended. Anything that you feel like brings you down a little bit, you're gonna need a motivational kit for that. And sometimes we forget that we've been through worse things before and then we faced adversity and we got through it back on our feet and better than ever sometimes too. So you need a motivational kit to remind yourself of that. Here's what you need for your emergency motivational kit. A box or container. So basically something, I don't know what your guys' favorite colors are or exactly what you like when it comes to visual aids, but I suggest something really fancy, maybe paint something. Even if you have a small cardboard box or a shoe box, that will be perfect as well. It just depends on your taste and your personality. You're going to need a list of inspirational songs, videos, or websites. Who has a playlist on YouTube of certain things? Anybody? Anybody have a list on their phone of any songs that they like? Okay. So if you want to do this online, that's great. But also, too, I would search for videos as well. And I would also look into different books that you might like if you're not into motivational videos. So have a list of any songs, videos, or websites that you like that perk you up and make you feel good. Like for me, I like addictedtosuccess.com. And I like certain other websites like mycomeup.com that really keep me motivated and inspired.
What is it again?
It's called Addicted to Success. So let me write that on the board, actually. One website I go to is Addicted to Success. So those are two of my favorite websites. They have interviews of entrepreneurs who started rough, but then they give you the lessons that they learned or what inspires them. My Come Up has the same thing. They have different quotes. They have articles. They have a lot of great things to keep you motivated. Two of my favorite go-to websites. And you also need a list of all your strengths. So what do you feel like you're good at? Characteristics, any hobbies, any skills that you have? For me, I love to speak, obviously. I like to motivate people. And I really enjoy making people feel good. I feel like those are some strengths of mine. And as a case manager, I also help a lot of people as well. So for me, it's just, I'm very empathetic and I love helping people. I see that as a really great strength to have. A list of adversities you overcome. I know a woman who she overcame cancer and she was still really hard on herself, and I had to keep reminding her, you beat a terminal illness. A lot of people can't say that. So remind yourself of the things that you've overcome. Some of us are a lot stronger than we think we are, and we forget the great obstacles that we've overcome. So it's really important to have that list in front of you when you're down about yourself and you don't feel very good. Favorite motivational books. I love self-help and self-development, one of my favorite genres in books. So if you have some, even if it's an autobiography of somebody that you really admire, it doesn't necessarily have to be self-help, but just something to help increase your drive and increase that motivation that you have. Sometimes all we need to do is read about somebody who's great to us, that have been through some of the same obstacles and adversities, just to remind ourselves, if they can do it, I can do it too. So a list of any motivational books that make you feel better. Motivational video playlists. For me, I have a playlist on YouTube. It has, I think, over 200 videos of motivational speeches, TED Talks. Have anybody heard of TED Talks before? Okay, good. So I have a lot of videos that really help me stay focused, and it's on a variety of different topics. So I have a very diverse playlist that just helps me contain my focus and remember why I'm doing what I'm doing in the first place. So sometimes we need somebody to just perk us up through a speech or a video. Joke books. Laughter is the best medicine, and it's good exercise too. So for me, I need to watch a comedian, or I need a joke book, or I need something to make me, I just need something to make me laugh, even if it's just my dog running around the house. Like, I need something to keep me laughing. Because when you laugh, you feel good. Remember embodiment? When you laugh, you feel happy. So joke books or anything that you find funny is really good to have in that motivational kit. List of accomplishments. What have you accomplished that you can be proud of? Children, grandkids, raising a great individual, becoming a teacher, having a great occupation your whole life, being promoted, getting a degree. What have you accomplished that you're very proud of? I don't care how minimal it is. It's about how good you feel about it. This is not for anybody else's eyes. This is just for you. So no matter how silly you think it is, you might come back to it and think, oh, I forgot about that. And it's going to make you realize I have a lot to be proud of and thankful for. So a list of accomplishments is the final thing to have in your emergency kit. Now we're going to cover gratitude. As I mentioned before, gratitude has the word attitude in it. You can't have one without the other. Now, up until I was about 13, I focused on the positive in life. I focused on what I had, the present, what I had to be thankful for. But then, eventually, the abuse that was inflicted on me made me focus on the negative of everything. Now, from a rational point of view, it makes no sense that if more positive things are happening, you're focusing on the negative. So common sense will tell you, okay, if about 90% of the time good things happen, why am I so focused on the negative? What's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with any of us when it comes to that. It's a human tendency to do that. There was a philosophy that I created when I was in college after watching, who here's ever watched the stand-up of Cat Williams before? Anybody?
What was it?
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams.
No. He's a comedian. He was in the movie Friday. He was in Friday After Next, I believe. And basically, he did a stand-up regarding women and how they perceive men. So basically, he said that when it comes to some women, they have a man who's 98% good, but then they leave him over a stupid 2% reason. And the crazy part was the 2% was cheating, and that's not 2% to me, but according to him, it was. But I don't agree with that part, but I do agree that a lot of times we have 98% good things, and we just dismiss it over a 2% reason. So in my case, I was focusing on the 2% of the negative in my life as opposed to the 98% positive things that are happening in my life. And it made me realize that I have so much to be grateful for, but my focus was on the wrong thing. Now, the 2% that I'm talking about is the small, trivial stuff. Basically, like tripping in public, somebody being rude to me, or, getting a bad grade on a test that didn't really affect my overall grade, things like that. But the 98% is the people that love me unconditionally, the things I've accomplished, what I have to be grateful for, the things that are positive in my life and really influence me and help me become a better person. So, as I mentioned, if 98% of the things that happen to me are good, why was I so focused on the negative? What's wrong with that? The problem is, it's just, first of all, like I said, human beings are conditioned to do that. So basically, imagine sick versus healthy. So you feel good. You're able to walk straight. You're able to sleep okay. But then, one day you wake up and your nose is stuffed up. You can't stop coughing. You feel like you're going to throw up. You noticed that, but you didn't notice when you were healthy. That's because our bodies and our brains are on autopilot when we're healthy and when we feel good. It's just like, oh, it's a normal day, whatever. But then you notice, because of survival reasons, that you're not functioning well. You realize you need to do something to get back healthy and to continue to live. So that's what that is. It's just biology. But that doesn't mean we have to accept it and to just live that way. So one way to become more grateful and to focus on the positive is to create an appreciation journal. That, again, it's an appreciation journal. So basically, an appreciation journal is nothing more than just a notebook or even something you type on Word that you list everything that you're grateful for every single day. As many things as you can think of. So at least 3 times a week, starting off if you haven't done this before, I would suggest just trying to do this with 5 things listed every day. And that way, especially right when you wake up and right before you go to sleep, so it can set your mood. So with an appreciation journal, it helps you focus more on the positive and what you have to be grateful for. And it also helps you keep your focus on what actually matters in life. Sometimes we're so focused on the trivial things, like somebody being rude to us or something that was embarrassing that happened, as opposed to what we have to be grateful for. You don't want to end up living your life focusing on the negative just to look back and think, wow, I could have enjoyed my life, but I also focused on the wrong thing. So an appreciation journal can be like, a 99-cent notebook or a journal, or like I say, you can type it on Word. There are actual appreciation journals you can buy at the bookstore, like Barnes & Noble. I believe they have some at Walmart as well. So that's a great investment to have, is a gratitude journal, appreciation journal. And it really trains your mind to think about the positive and what you have to be grateful for. The most important thing is that you're focusing on the right things. Not exactly what they are, it's just that it's not the content, it's the emotion that provokes it. So as long as it makes you feel good and you feel like, oh, I have this to be grateful for, even if you list it every day, it's still something to be grateful for. Because imagine if the things in life that you list, like being able to walk straight or being able to eat without a tube, imagine if life was a total opposite and you didn't have those things. Life will be drastically different. If you didn't have a home, if you didn't have a car, if you didn't have the money you had, life will be completely different. So you really have to focus on the small things because they all add up to big things. Something as small as, oh, I have food in my refrigerator today. Imagine if you didn't have any food. Life would be a real downer if you didn't have any food to come home to. So that's very important to focus on everything you have to be grateful for. And get creative, don't just try to think of things that you never thought of before, like something as simple as, oh, I have cleaning products in my home, or I have a dog, or I have furniture to sit on, stuff like that. That's very, very important. So just think about the little things you have to be grateful for. I think attitudes are very contagious. So one thing I would suggest when it comes to that is say positive things, to continue to say positive things. And with that said, it's like basically I'm rubbering your glue kind of thing. Like you say something negative, I'm going to bounce back with something positive. I'm not going to allow you to take my joy and allow you to change my attitude based on what you say. I want to talk about one last thing, and that's forgiveness. Because the goal of becoming self-aware, doing power poses, creating a sensory-rich environment, and expressing gratitude are to have a positive attitude and change your focus so that you reach your goals and become mentally tough. But you can't receive if you are holding on, and unforgiveness will tie your hands. Even if your hands are empty and you want to receive something better. If your hands are tied up, you won't receive anything. What I want you all to do, whether you want to do it when you get home, you want to do it now, it doesn't matter. I just want you to do this, and I want you to write 3 things you're harboring unforgiveness about. 3 things, 3 situations, 3 people, and write down 1 or 2 things you've been grateful for that it happened. So what are 1 or 2 things that occurred because of it that you have to be grateful for? So I'm going to give you an example. When I was younger, when I was growing up, I would go to school with the same clothes, my hair a mess, and I felt really bad about myself because I looked very unkempt. I wasn't happy. I didn't look good on the outside, and I didn't feel good on the inside. But in the back of my mind, I always thought to myself, I deserve better. I will get better. And this led to me searching for a job when I was 15. I went to my counselor and I was like, I need a job. I need to make my own money. And He said, come back next year when you're 16. I came back the next year. Ended up getting a job at a daycare over the summer. That first paycheck led to me loving working hard for my own money. And this led to a great work ethic. This led to me going to college. This led to me studying, being diligent. And I am now the woman that you see today because of the fact that I wasn't getting the things I needed and wanted when I was younger from my parents. I had to get it myself. Mama may have, and Papa may have. But God bless the child that's got its own. I lived that my whole life, and I'm so proud that I did. So what happened to you when you were younger? What happened to you when you were an adult? What happened recently that you're harboring unforgiveness about that you can be truly grateful for? And how would your life be different if it didn't happen and you didn't become that person, you didn't develop those characteristics? Had I not been through what I've been through, I don't know if I'll be working so hard and being so ambitious. So I'm very grateful that it happened to me. Sometimes situations can create certain characteristics in yourself that you never thought you had before. So again, if you want to do that now, you want to do it when you get home, that's up to you. But I strongly suggest you do it and think about it. Now, here's another thing about forgiveness and gratitude that I want to leave you with. It is a choice. We can choose to be happy. We can choose to have a good attitude. We can choose to focus on the positive, but it is up to you. Nobody can make you do it. You have to want it for yourself. I could have chose to be resentful. I could have chosen to blame other people for my problems, but instead, I picked myself up by my own bootstraps, and I decided that it was time for a change, and it was up to me to change that. Most things we can't control. I wasn't able to control what happened to me. I cannot and was not able to control the abuse that I endured. But I can control my perception and my attitude about it. And I choose to take complete control over my life, and you can too. My name is Angelica Grace Allen, and thank you all for coming.
Thank you.